Hi there, my name is Zoe, and in this video we are going to be looking at one of my favorite topics, which is musicality for dancers. So musicality meaning how you hear the music and express that through your dancing. It's a huge topic and one that I think doesn't get nearly as much attention as it should. So today we're going to dive into just one small aspect of this very big topic. But even looking at just these little tidbits can help you really improve your musicality and your dancing. So today we are going to be talking about the concept of articulation of sound, how a sound is articulated by the instrument or singer, the person making the sound, and then how we can then hear that and express that using our bodies in Middle Eastern dance. So we're going to look at two basic ways of articulating. These are called staccato and legato. If you're a musician, I'm sure you know these terms. If not, they may be new to you. So these terms, staccato, legato, they come from Italian. Literally, staccato means detached, disconnected, whereas legato means connected, linked, so the opposite. So staccato, disconnected, legato, connected. So what does this sound like? A staccato sound is then a very short sound that is disconnected from the other notes surrounding it. So basically almost anything you hear on percussion is usually going to be staccato, doesn't have to be, but quite often is. Or it can be like plucking a string, but really with pretty much any instrument, you can make a staccato sound on it. So the key things to remember are short and sharp, kind of often sharp as well, short, disconnected. And legato then is, like I said, the opposite. So this is where you have notes that are smooth, connected to each other, flowing. You can think of typically like with stringed instruments, playing across the bow, lots of notes all together. But again, you can make legato sounds with most instruments as well. So yeah, legato connected and staccato short. So if you are not used to this idea, it would be a good idea to listen to music and just try to hear. If you can hear parts where the music is being played in a more staccato way and where it's played in a more legato way. We are going to look at some classic Middle Eastern music as an example in a little bit. So you will get to hear that in this video, but I definitely recommend that you listen on your own as well. So with these two concepts, staccato and legato, which are, again, very key concepts in articulation, the next question, once we can hear them, is how can we express these in our dancing? So with musicality, very often what we want to do is kind of mimic the sound of the music with our bodies. So if we have something short and disconnected and sharp, that's where we're going to use our kind of sharp movements, pops, locks, that sort of thing. So I'm just going to show you examples. For example, a hip bump. Right? That would be a good staccato movement, or a hip hip drop as well. So anything that is sharp like that, pretty much all of the isolations you can do. So chest isolations, a broken roll up and down, or just stomach isolations here. We can do pelvic locks and releases, a broken ummi. Even like shoulder movements or neck movements. So all of those kind of short, sharp movements are great for emphasizing staccato in the music. And then when it comes to legato, we have, again, the opposite. And this is where you would be using all of those juicy, classic belly dance moves. So your eights, or Maya's going the other way, or horizontal eights, any of those eights, chest eights, all of those smooth movements. Your camels here, or body rolls up. Again, this very smooth, connected feeling, ummies, hip circles. So any of those circular or eight or rolling, all of those movements, snake arms, or other very kind of graceful, smooth arm movements, all of that is really good for showing legato in the music. Okay, so we are going to look at a piece of music, just a little bit of it, that has both staccato and legato. And what we're going to do is focus on finding kind of corresponding movements between staccato and legato. So just examples. Like I said, there are the broken versions of movements. So we have like our normal camel. And then I can do my broken camel. Right? So that's the staccato version. Or, for example, a hip bump. And then this is not quite the same, but I could also then do a vertical eight to make this legato. So it's still kind of a movement in a similar plane, similar sort of shape, but totally different articulation, different movement quality. Other ones, we could do, again, the broken ummi and the smooth ummi. We could do sharp hip twist and maybe hip eights. Again, so thinking about like parts of the body, how we can move them in different ways. Yeah? So let's turn on a bit of music, and I'm just gonna dance the staccato and the legato parts. Try to follow along, and then afterwards, let's talk about what we did and how that worked with the music. Okay, so that music, by the way, that's Ariat al-Fingan, or the coffee cup. It's a really famous and beautiful piece of music. It was just a little bit of it. And what did we do? We started with the hip bumps, right? 1, 2. We did some very fast hip bumps in there. 1, 2, and then followed that up with the vertical 8. So now we have the legato part, right? I think I did that twice. 1, 2. And 8. And then we went into some chest isolations, 1, 2, and rolls. So again, we have a staccato movement here in the chest, and then we can move that into a camel down and roll up. Then we had some hip drops, 1, 2, or drops and then hitting up, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then a single hip circle. All right, so I'm in the same position. I'm moving kind of the same part of my body, but just the quality is totally different. Staccato and legato. Right, so we had that. And then we had one of my favorite little staccato movements, this little heel drop, and then a little more dramatic, or something like that. So there you can just see how we can really express the differences in the music, in the sound that is being produced, with similar differences in our own movement. And this is a key in many aspects of musicality. Again, this is just one tiny, tiny bit of a huge topic, but I do hope that even here you did learn something, that this was helpful to you, that it will be helpful in the future when you're improvising or making choreographies, just dancing on your own, that you are better able to hear the music, to understand what's going on, and then kind of it becomes really subconscious, that you're not really thinking like, oh, this is staccato, this is legato. You just feel it. And even now you probably already do have some of that intuition, and then it just helps to put a name to it. And then you can kind of more clearly realize what you're doing and, maybe organize things a little bit better. So I really hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please do give it a like, and remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and happy practicing.